Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the Film Busters podcast. The film show with no filters, no prisoners taken, loads of disagreements, but one hell of a love for cinema.
If you want to hear three friends ridiculing each other for an hour or so regarding their taste in films, then you have come to the right place.
In each episode, one of the team picks a film for us to discuss. It could be anything from a recent cinema release to an all-time classic.
So, strap in and get ready to get mad or get vindicated as we guide you through the murky world of being a film geek.
If you like what you hear, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram using @FilmbustersPod. You can also find each of our individual accounts. I'm at Filmbusters Paul.
I'm at Filmbusters Adam.
And I'm at Filmbusters Ben.
If you want to use your eyes instead of your ears, you can also visit the website at filmbusters.pod.co.uk.
And if busting makes you feel good, you can also support us at patreon.com/filmbusters for exclusive content.
Alright, can we just get on with this now, please?
Filmbusters.
Hello, Keep
Keep it in.
My voice is absolutely completely disappeared, everyone. You're going to realise that I have a little bit of illness today. I don't feel terrible, it's just I just have no voice. And it's pretty unfortunate. But one thing I can tell you is I've seen Joker Folie à Deux, everyone. So I went to a press screening. How about that?
No. And were you impressed?
I was. There's heavy disappointment weighing over it.
Deary me. I think the best thing
Yes.
that has come out of it has been Joaquin Phoenix taking Lady Gaga's water at a recent interview. Have you seen that video?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that. No. What happened?
He thinks Lady Gaga and him being interviewed, and she reaches for a glass of water, and he thinks that she's grabbing it for him, so he just takes it from her and drinks it.
That is funny.
Kind of funny.
Why would you do that?
He's a very awkward individual, isn't he? Joaquin.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, it is good, but the disappointment's so heavy because of how amazing the first one was. So
I reckon the people who would like this film are people who didn't like the first one.
Potentially, yeah, maybe. From that, if you thought the first was a bit of an incel film, then I'd say this is the anti-incel film.
Right. That's why Paul don't like it so much.
Yeah, that's why I hated it.
Paul immediately got home and jumped on 4chan.
The biggest disservice is the fact that it didn't lean far enough into being a musical, and it obviously you can tell that from everyone saying, "Oh, it's not a musical." Everyone, even though you said it was a musical, and it's like, well, you should have really led into it because obviously you were scared to go too far into a musical, and then if you're going half into musical and not doing big numbers, then it's like, well, who wants to watch that?
It's kind of mad that he won the Oscar for Joker, right?
Yeah, he got Best Actor. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Is there a standout moment like the talk show scene with Moray?
As in, like, a shocking moment, or just stand out?
Just something that's
general?
iconic from it, because like that's the main thing. That's the big thing
no.
from Joker, isn't it?
There's no iconic moment.
There you go. Tut tut tut.
Yeah.
Todd Phillips got greedy.
Half the like really over the top moments are in a dreamlike sequence, so they don't actually matter in the story. Anyway, we're not talking about Joker today. We're talking about Dead Sushi from 2012. It's a new round, Ben, and it's your pick. Do you want to talk about 2012?
I'm going to talk about 2012. I'm also going to talk about how congested you sound now compared to how you sounded just 60 seconds ago. Now you sound very congested in your nose. I bet you've got that bright red nose like Rudolph, 100%. That
Probably,
sushi been biting your nose and you sound like a fool.
Give us the 2012 news already.
All right. What a sexy voice.
Thank you.
So, 2012, we can all remember it because it was all in our lifetime. So see how many of these things you can remember. So here's some stuff that happened in 2012, folks.
The world ended.
Yeah, the world ended in 2012. Or it didn't, but the film was so bad it made everyone want to end their lives. So the world may as well have ended. I don't know. I think the film was just forgettable. 2012, I mean, not Dead Sushi. The Queen, she celebrated her Diamond Jubilee, marking exactly 60 years to the day when she took the throne in 1952. Now, you know something about that? I
Tell
worked
us.
at a charity at the time, and we got given free tickets to her Diamond Jubilee concert. And
Oh, jeez.
even though I'm not a Republican, I don't believe in the monarchy. Saw many fine acts at that concert. I saw Paul McCartney, Elton John, Stevie Wonder,
Fantastic.
Robbie Williams, Ed Sheeran, unfortunately,
Unfortunately, yeah.
Rolf Harris. Oh dear,
We're not aging well.
It's getting worse.
I know. They were all there. Pop legend Whitney Houston was found dead in a hotel bathtub in Beverly Hills.
I thought it
shit.
was more recent than that.
There you go. 48. She'd accidentally drowned after taking cocaine
She was 48.
and many other drugs. 48 she was.
I
Yes.
thought she was like 70.
There you go. Well, she would have been 60 this year. Britain took to the world stage in the summer of 2012 to host the Olympic Games with an epic opening ceremony directed by Danny Boyle, which also included an appearance by the Queen. Remember? Skydiving out of the helicopter with James Bond.
Yeah.
What was your favourite memory from that 2012 opening things? I like Mr. Bean playing the piano. Do you remember?
I don't remember that. I only remember the skydiving.
Yeah. Mr. Bean. Rowan Atkinson was there with the piano playing with one finger, looking very bored. And he had the whole stadium up in arms. It was very good.
My
Danny
favourite
Boyle
thing was
did that so well.
been running up that road, been running up that hill, been running
Can't-
up that building.
Can't even remember that song playing in that
Yeah, I'm
ceremony.
pretty sure that was at that ceremony.
Mm. The Spice Girls did stuff on top of buses, I think.
Of course they did.
It was very good. It absolutely put the Paris ones to shame from this year. The Paris ones were so shit by comparison. It really was. Danny Boyle did a fucking fantastic job on that. Carrying on the bad stuff that happened in 2012, the first public allegations of sexual abuse were raised against Jimmy Savile, the former
died that
DJ
year,
and
then?
star. No, he died before that. I think he
I swear it
died
was
in
like
2011.
I'm
I
pretty
think.
sure it was like the day after he died, the first allegations came out.
I don't think it was right away. Well, maybe that was the year that he died. But there was an ITV documentary that aired, and that's when the first five women came forward in 2012. So they must have had time to put together the documentary after his death. So it probably wasn't straight away. But there you go. We're all living in a post-Savile world now.
Gross man.
Oh yeah. Malala was shot by the Taliban. You remember Malala? You see Malala. She now does the tours all over. That's a Pakistani schoolgirl who sparked headlines around the world for being shot by the Taliban for campaigning for the right to go to school. She escaped death. She was 14 and she only had escaped death by a matter of inches because the bullet entered just above her left eye and went along her jaw, grazing her brain. If you ever see her now, she's doing much public speaking, but you can tell that she's been shot. A skydiver made history by smashing the world record for the highest skydive. Do you remember that? With the Red Bull branding leaping from 128,000 feet.
It's like air balloon Jeep.
That's it. Felix Baumgartner. He went up in a pressurized capsule which was suspended beneath a giant helium balloon, and then he jumped out. He free fell for 4 minutes and 20 seconds before opening his parachute. Imagine that, just falling for that
must
length
have
of
felt
time.
like for hours.
Crazy. I can't even imagine. Also, WikiLeaks started posting their entire treasure trove of information with 5 million leaked emails to private companies, releasing information on global intelligence companies, leading to Julian Assange taking refuge in Ecuador's London embassy, seeking political asylum, which he stayed in for like a decade. He only left a year or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts.
And it was also the year my good lady wife and I started dating. So many things. 2012.
Best fact.
There you go, and that's the last fact.
Beautiful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Well, one more fact. We've
Let's have
done
it.
one film from 2012 before. Do you know what it is?
Zodiac?
No. We had a wonderful featured podcast on it.
Oh, someone came on.
2 people came on.
Oh, Holy Motors.
Holy
Is
Motors.
that 2012?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's got like very like 2006 vibes.
It's got a lot of vibes, but there you go.
Many a
2012. It's hard
vibe.
to beat that one. Hard to beat that.
Look at that. Well, thank you. Thank you, Ben. Today we're doing Dead Dead Sushi. We're in the new round. But before we kick that off, let's just talk about our wonderful patron at www.patreon.com/filmbusters. We can get exclusive episodes. You can suggest films for us to watch. You can come on the show. It's just a wonderful family over there.
You can hear Paul being ill for like an extra hour's worth of podcasting.
Yes.
That is the bonus episode, me sounding ill on a monthly roundup
Nothing
episode.
else happens. It's just Paul talking.
Lots of sneezes and coughs. And your patron money will go towards his medication, and it'll be richly deserved.
I do talk a lot in the episode, and I think I speak very well because I made you want to watch 3 of the films I said about.
That's true.
There you go. So if that makes you want to join our Patreon, go do it at www.patreon.com/filmbusters. But we should start getting into the film Dead Sushi and do the staple of every episode, which is the quiz. If you don't know what that is, I ask Ben and Adam 2 questions about the film we're doing, which is Dead Sushi. And if they get them right, they get the points. If they get them wrong, I get the points. Right now, I'm on 12 points. Adam's on 11 points, but Ben is steaming ahead on 16 points.
Wow.
Come on.
What a noob.
Yeah, what a noob.
I'm a vet, mate. I'm a veteran in this game. I'm OG. You're a pretender. You're coming for the crown. If you're coming for it, you best not miss. You've been missing for years.
That's the second time you said that in an episode in a row.
Yeah, I know. I need some new material, mate. We've been podcasting for too long. It's just repeating my shit.
Yes.
Do you want the first question?
Yes.
Here we go. What type of fish does Yamada transform into?
Tuna.
Tuna. Black tuna.
Oh, sorry, but Ben got it. He was
I
there
said black
first.
tuna.
Black tuna.
It was just
Oh,
tuna.
that was the type of sushi in it.
It was just
There you go.
tuna.
Black tuna.
Just tuna fishy. Just a little tuna
Just
fish.
tuna. 17 points, Ben. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's go for the second one. Here we go. It's quite an easy one. You should be able to get it. So get ready, Adam.
Egg roll.
Wrong. Are you using that as your answer?
No, I'm
He's
not.
frozen out.
Would you like to give Adam the opportunity to answer it?
Yeah, go on, Adam.
Before
you can
you-
go first. Yep.
I'm going to get it wrong now.
Okay. How many trays do the other women try to make Kiko carry?
5.
Correct.
That's correct.
That's it.
Well done,
Correct.
Adam.
Well
It
done.
was,
Did you know that?
it was between 4. It was between 4 and 5. But I
Yeah,
thought
it was
4 is
5.
doable. 5 isn't. What would you have said, Ben?
I would have said 5, yeah.
You would have got it. There you go. Well done.
Well done.
Levelly with me now, Adam. So 12 points. But Benny's on the 17 points.
Oh, come on.
Steaming.
I think he's getting a sneak preview of all these questions.
I am. He's slipping them to me in the WhatsApp on the side, mate.
I am. We get so much thrill out of just making you win the quiz every year.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Dead Sushi?
Let's talk about Dead Sushi.
What the? We're being attacked by flying sushi!
Sushi nunchucks! Hachoo!
That's delicious. And now I have been reborn as a mighty tuna!
That's a lot of fish.
Okay, everyone, today we're talking about Dead Sushi from 2012, directed by Noboru Iguchi. This is a spoiler episode, so if you haven't seen the film, you want to go and watch it first and then come back and listen. We've had one person before who's been in films we've done before. That's what
No way.
Films we've done before. Yes.
Is it going to be like Reanimator or something like a series like that we did?
No. I might as well just tell you. It's Kanji Tsuda, who is the very bad sushi chef in this film.
Right.
The one who gets called up about being a bad sushi chef. And he was in Kids Return and Sonatine, mate. You should know this.
Oh, motherfuck. I did not even recognise him. Let me see.
I mean,
oh, my
small
God.
Small roles.
Mate, can you believe this? I didn't even
Go on.
realise it. He's my most watched actor of the year so far.
Wow. Look at
I
that.
believe I've seen 9 films with this fuckery.
That is nuts.
9.
Yeah. He was in... These are all the films that I've seen him in. He was in Audition, Shin Godzilla, Fireworks, Ju-on, Sonatine, Zatoichi, Kids Return Dolls, Funky Forest, Gamera, Dead Sushi, and The Warped Forest. And I've seen 9 of those this year.
Look at that.
Wow.
Didn't even realise it.
Didn't even recognise him as the chef, mate.
He's your brother, mate.
He
Might as
is
well
my
be
brother
a
from
family
another
member.
mother. Kanji Suda. Damn. He was very disgusting. He was spitting egg yolk in a woman's mouth back and forth many times.
Oh yeah, very bad sushi man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Adam, you got a little plot summary of this film?
Yeah, this film is exactly what it says on the tin. It's about Sushi coming back to fight people at a, would you say it's a conference or something like that? Business people go to this conference and the tuna decides to fight back and kill everybody.
It's just a bed and breakfast, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like a business conference going on there, isn't it? It's like a businessman's taking his workforce out to eat sushi.
Yeah, I think they've just gone out to eat
also,
something.
They just
there's
gone
a
out to
sushi
eat.
chef who is trying to get, what would you call it, from her dad? Recognition from her dad, or what would you call it?
Acceptance?
Yes, the word acceptance from her dad.
Correct. Nice little summary there. Well done. Benny, you got any facts about this film?
I have, surprisingly. So Dead Sushi,
Mental.
Dead Sushi or Dedo Sushi, to use the original Japanese title, Dedo Sushi, I much prefer that. Directed by Noboru Iguchi, and Iguchi is known in Japan for very explicit and graphic films, such as Robo Geisha, The Machine Girl, and Zombie Ass. Zombie Ass.
I saw that and I was like, what is that?
I know.
Zombie ass.
And before that, he made his start in filmmaking as a porno director.
Oh,
And,
shit.
He explored several subsections of the adult entertainment industry. He did a lot of incest films, a lot of bondage films, a lot of group sex films.
Sake.
Something called Nakadashi. I haven't even looked up what Nakadashi is, but he specialised in that. Anyway, apparently he was inspired by Piranha 3D and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That's what made him make this film. He came up with the idea of food replacing animals and attacking people. But unlike his previous films, he wanted Dedo Sushi to be more comedic and made for family viewing, even though it does include much bloody violence and naked women. And Iguchi wrote the screenplay in 3 weeks. He spent 2 months preparing and then filmed it all in 10 days. And the film received its world premiere at the Fantasia Festival in July 2012. After the business gang, as Adam calls them, after they go and have their first bite of sushi in that room, a big fight breaks out. And this opening fight scene requires a man, naked man, to be spun in many times on the ground. And apparently it took a day and a half to film all of his spinning on the ground scenes. Out of that entire 10-day schedule, they spent a day and a half just spinning him around. And the actor was very embarrassed due to his state of undress in front of all of the actresses that entire time, as you could quite imagine. This is also the first mainstream acting role for Marin. Marin is an actress who began her career in porn at the age of 18. She plays the naked woman in the bathhouse who gets covered in blood when the man's neck comes off. Marin joked in an interview that having experienced shooting multiple bukkake scenes in her porn films, that being covered in blood felt no different.
Well, there you go.
Lovely. I can't ever watch that scene the same way again now.
The fact that she even calls that out is...
Why?
I know, why? Don't remind people. Don't remind people.
Lovely. Nice facts there. Benny, it's back to you because this is your film pick. So you get to decide the order of first impressions.
I'll fly my flag from the off and then we'll go Adam Paul. So
Lovely.
In what worlds can you not fucking love this film? This was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I regretted bringing it up almost immediately because I thought, the gimmick is just the title and that's it, kind of like Sharknado. This is frantic, manic, fun, pretty much all the way through. It has the extreme stylized Japanese humor, which is like Takeshi's Castle game show type aesthetics to the whole thing. Every time you think it can't get weirder and madder, it does. I love the fact that all the characters say ridiculous lines like, I'm turning into tuna king, and oh dear, my arteries are splitting open and I'm spewing blood. They're dictating everything that you're seeing. It's absolutely batshit mental, so fucking entertaining, quite impressive on some of the practical effects as well, even though they use a lot of CGI in it, but quite impressive on the practical effects. Very fun, exactly what it says on the tin, very tongue-in-cheek all the way through. It's better than a lot of the shitty spoof jokey movies that are made by America. It's better than all the Sharknadoes. Hands down, it's better than the Sharknadoes. It's almost on the level of Velocipasta. And the thing that's great about it is it's not one of those films that's like, oh, it's so bad you have to see it, because it's not bad. They know exactly what they're making with this film, and they hit the notes perfectly. The silly nonsense of the sushi attacking and throwing into people is just so entertaining. I loved it all. However, there are so many moments where I'm having a great time and then a terrible thing happens in the film, which is like, I hate this. I'll give you one example and then we'll talk later. Here's an example. I'm having a great time, and then a very low-class moment happens where the two women are running down the stairs. One is wielding a machete, and she swipes at the woman, and the one woman bends down and puts her hands above her head. For some reason, her fingers are pointing up, so the machete woman accidentally backs into her. Her fingers go into the machete woman's bum, and the machete woman farts and goes, "Oh, ouch, my butt." And it's like, that's very low-class, and it makes me want to turn this film off. And there were many moments like that was happening, because I was having a real good time, and then they would put in another low-class moment. There were many. But there were enough good things in this to keep me going. Singing Sushi and attacking Sushi, and come on, how can you not love it? We'll find out now. We'll find out if the boys agree.
I agree with you word for word, Ben. Almost exactly what I was going to say. Word for word. That you're having such a good time with this film, and then the whole film is then suddenly like, I hate this film for about 5 minutes. My example was when the girl was, when she was getting eaten and he was trying to use the example to like squeeze her tits.
Oh, mate. Oh, God.
I'm just like, come on. Ugh. Like, honestly, I was like, I actually was going to rewind forward through the film. I'm like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, I think that's the only thing that stops this film from being like really good and really enjoyable. I don't think I'll ever want to watch it again because of those moments, but I had a good time watching it now.
Yes.
But yeah, when it's fun, it's fun. Like, it's really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is moments that really do hold it back, and I wouldn't be surprised if I showed this to somebody and they said they hated it completely.
Yeah.
Because of those moments, I completely get that overshadowing the film. But I really enjoyed the rest of the film, and I'd love to see this film kind of be made without those moments in it. I thought the only one that was kind of okay was the scene when he was kind of hiding in the hot tub sauna bit. That was kind of like, if the actual Sushi came in and they were fighting in the background, it kind of been funny in part of the film. It was kind of creepy because he was a creeping Tom.
Yes.
But that was the only one that kind of went with the storyline.
Yes,
all the other ones were ridiculous.
Even though she's the only person who was not part of their gang who was staying at that inn for some strange reason.
She's the only one who doesn't know there's killer Sushi running around the hotel she's in.
Yes. It was just a reason to get someone naked in the film.
It was, yeah.
But
Is anyway, it me?
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah. What a wild little watch is. It is completely ridiculous, but pretty brilliant at the same time. It's kind of hard to even place a rating on it because it's so. I think it is. I know you said you don't think it is, but I think it is bad, but also good. So that's the thing about it. They're just the terrible CGI stuff. That is the bad stuff, and all the sexual weird like stuff. That's the bad stuff. And then there's also the great stuff like the practical effects, and it's just so dumb, but also kind of genius. It's just so over the top in every sense, but that silliness is great at the same time. Mm-hmm. There's the nuts sound effects, the sushi design, the weird set pieces, like passing a yolk in each other's mouths, so fucking gross.
Yeah, very, very upsetting scene that was to watch, indeed. I was trying to be like, how did these actors agree to this? Because this is gross for both of you.
I was watching this film, and I was watching it by myself, and then Chelsea was working. She came in, she was like, I'm going to sit here and just sit while you watch. And she was like, what the fuck are you watching? I was like, oh, don't worry, Ben picked it. And he goes, is he? She said her words were, is he okay?
There's so many weird stuff in it, like the giant tuna man and the guy spinning around on the floor naked. It's just, there's so much just going on that I can't even put into words how I feel. And I can only just talk about the crazy shit that happens in it and the stuff I enjoyed. So that's kind of just what I want to do to help me come to terms with how I actually feel. I'm pretty sure I'm locked into a score, but who bloody knows? Maybe we can rejoice in its craziness and, you know, and also destroy those very bad bits as well. But those are my first impressions. It is a nuts watch.
It is a nuts watch.
You said that the bad CGI is a bad thing. I think it's perfect for this film.
No, I think it's bad. I don't like it.
I really like it. I think it works. If it was good CGI, then it kind of like. But why is the acting almost so? The acting's not bad,
that's
let's
true.
say, but it's very in keeping with the rest of the film. It's only if this has got really good Hollywood level CGI, then everything else in the film, like the practical effects, suddenly need to raise their game. The acting then needs to raise their game. All these stupid
Practical
stuff.
effects were great, mate.
Yeah, but they were great within level of the film.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just saying-
but it's only a bit of blood they got to use. The annoying bits was the CGI blood most of the time.
Yeah, but I think that's fine. I think that's how you do these type of films. You do these films, everything has to be at the same level. If you suddenly, because the rest of the film is like that and the practical effects aren't great, the acting's not the best, the storyline's weird, but then you had really good CGI. It's almost like why Cocaine Bear doesn't work for me in that way.
Because
Because
this is where we're the opposite. Because I like good CGI in a weird film.
yeah, but then because you're like you've got the budget, why make a stupid film? Like this is somebody who hasn't got a lot of time.
Ridiculous
like you said.
thing to say.
They shot it across 10 days. He wrote it like that. He's inspired by all these other B-level films like Killer Tomatoes. That's what he's making. He's making that film with this level. Those films have that same level, and I think if you have good CGI in this film or everything, it has to raise its game to match that, and that then almost I think it's perfect. I wouldn't want it any other way. I think bad CGI in these type of films adds another stupid dimension to them.
See, I disagree because I feel
Like the fucking battleship sushi thing at the end is so good. Like it's ridiculous, but it's so good.
It's so fucking dumb.
I love it. Like that's great. It's like it's somebody like what because you can almost get away with anything because there is no rules.
See, that kind of thing, the battleship, I'm just like, okay, I don't think that's a good moment.
I personally, the battleship sushi was a bridge too far for me as well.
It's fucking great.
There was a lot that was good about it. I think that you're both right in what you say, but the problem is if you improve the CGI, what you're doing when you improve the CGI, you can only improve the CGI with a bigger budget. And the minute you get a bigger budget, it means you've got a producer involved who needs a return on their investment. So they're getting more involved in the story and they're like, change this, change that. And I think by getting improved CGI, we get a less weird, less batshit crazy film, and that
you lose the magic.
I don't want
you
that
lose
trade-off.
the magic of this film.
I'm not saying I want CGI. I'm saying that you got some great practical effects in there. Keep it practical. If you go to something like Brain Dead, like Peter Jackson's Brain Dead, that's not a massive budget. It's a very minuscule budget, and he managed to make that all practical. And it's like, just do that, because then I feel more in it. It feels more practical and gooey and horrible.
You can't have a practical flying sushi battleship.
I know, the flying sushi would be too hard.
Yeah, that's fine. There's
Unless
some
it's
things you can't
literally on
do.
strings flying across the room.
It was on strings sometimes.
I know, but let's appreciate then the end credits. We're seeing them doing some of that physical effects. We're getting
of course.
that glimpse behind the scenes. So at least it's not entirely CGI. They're going like, okay, we know we can't accomplish all of this with practical effects on our limited budget. So we're going to do what we can, and the rest you're going to have to just buy into for CGI.
The thing that is so good about these kind of films is it's somebody's passion. Like they lived and breathed this film. And they absolutely love it, and
they look like they were having fun, didn't they?
And you can see people having fun, and they are doing this for the pure love of making a film. They're not trying to make any money. They're not trying to appease anybody else. They're trying to appease themselves and the people who got involved with it. And that when they do it right, you can see that coming across the street. It's exactly the same with Velocipasta. It's exactly the same with all those kind of really bad films. You can see the amount of fun that is being had because the people are doing it just for themselves. And it's like you guys with your, leader of the house and all of that. Yeah. And I think sometimes, again, like Ben says, when you get the extra money to get the extra CGI, you get the producer involved, and then it's not being done for fun anymore. It's being done because somebody wants some money out of it. And it loses so much.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I don't have a problem with that. All I'm saying is the CGI blood doesn't do anything for me.
But that's fine. But
That's such an easy
It's not
thing.
meant to,
It's
though.
such an
It's
easy thing to accomplish practically.
Well, they were probably running out of time. They did it in 10 days. So
They
were
didn't
probably
have
like,
time to clean up the clothes again. And that's probably why they did it.
And this reminded me also of One Cut of the Dead.
Yeah,
The sentiment and the way that they were doing it as well. I think they live in the same wheelhouse. It is similar. It's easy to make a comparison to Velocipaster, but it's kind of different in the same way, because Velocipaster is like, we're intentionally going to keep on trying our hardest to make you laugh and make you aware that you're watching this silly movie, whereas this was like, this is a silly movie and a silly concept, but we're just going to do it, and
But it was
in the world or you're not.
trying to be funny as well. I don't think it was funny, but it was being funny without trying to be funny in a very good way. It's like,
tell me your
put...
funniest moment in the whole film. One moment in the whole film.
Oh my god, there was a bit. I was going to say it for my. I should have made a note of it for the. I was going to say it for like the end of the year bit. I've completely forgotten it now. It's
Oh mate, there's so much in this for our end of year.
Yeah, I know. I need should have made
like
a note
best
of it.
scene and all that.
But I was just going to say, like the fish, the tuna head fish guy, when he comes, he gets reborn as the tuna.
That's
it's
literally
like,
what he says. I am reborn as tuna.
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's not like his head isn't meant to be funny. They use it in a funny way, but intentionally funny. But they don't make a thing of it. Like a normal film, like Velocipaster said, that would have tried to make that funny and stupid, whereas they just keep it serious and they just keep that stupid head in a serious film, making it, and which makes it.
It's
so
not
good.
a serious film. What are you talking about?
It is.
It's not serious. It's
not
not serious.
but it's not trying to be a comedy. That's what I mean. It's trying to tell you a thriller or whatever. It's trying to be that. It's not trying to be funny and stupid, but they are being stupid in it.
I don't know. I think it is trying to be funny.
I think it's trying to be funny.
But it's just less
It's not
obvious.
telling you jokes. It's just like...
They're just embracing the weird, and it's very funny.
The one thing I would say about this film is it doesn't need the father storyline in it.
That's just bookend stuff, though, isn't it? Like, basically, this is to its credit, though. I think it kind of, in a way, does, because it would have been so easy to just make this about Sushi, but ultimately, it's about someone who feels a little bit cast out, an outsider. She's bullied. She doesn't feel like her father respects her. She's trying to work out what she's meant to be in life. Right at the front, right at the top of the film, the character says to her, not all people are suited for all jobs. You have to experience the world to find your place. And she does. She then goes out, she fights the sushi, she masters it, and then at the end she's the master. So it's like, although at first you may not seem great and you may lack confidence, go out, experience the world, then you'll learn exactly what you want to do. And she does. Through literally battling sushi, she masters it and she accomplishes it, and at the end she's a sushi master.
There's such a thing though in Japanese films, and it's very obvious in this film, is everyone has to look up for approval. Like all the people are looking up for the approval of their boss, she's looking up for approval of her father.
Yeah, but it's Japanese culture, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think that's why maybe half the reason why you feel like, oh, this isn't a comedy, because in Japanese culture everything is very serious and stern. Yeah. So it's not the kind of comedy you'd expect like a Western comedy.
When we look back at, what's it called?
I thought this was very funny, though.
I thought it was funny as well.
The Crippled Avengers, you can almost see it again in this. It's that kind of almost panto theatre acting and running around, which they do in this. But you can obviously see that it's not, they don't look at it in that way. That's looked as quite serious, and to a Western audience, it looks quite stupid. But I think it is that whole thing of, if I hadn't watched Crippled Avengers before this, I might have looked at that slightly different. But it's that thing, the more you watch and the more you learn these films, the more you understand what that is.
Yeah, and it's the thing about the comedy with the West and something like Velocipaster, it's like, now I'm saying a line and this is my funny line. Now you're doing that thing and that's your funny thing. It's like setting up the jokes. Whereas something like this and Crippled Avengers on a silliness level, but this, when you're in the world, everything is ridiculous. So it's not like, and here is the joke, here is the joke. It's like the whole thing is a joke. So you just live with the joke.
Yeah. I really appreciated coming towards the ending where Lee literally says things have reached the point where they no longer make sense.
Yes.
This is like, you have the guy with a big tuna head with a massive axe. You have rice zombies and like they're trying to wipe the rice out of her mouth and it keeps coming out. A flamethrower sushi.
The amount of rice that was coming out of her mouth.
I know, that was good.
They've literally just shoved the amount, like imagine having all that wet sloppy rice in your mouth and having to throw it up.
That flamethrower sushi and the guy's going, motherfucking roast sushi, cooking me alive. It's like you're dying, mate. Why are you commentating on it?
Did he even get burned? He didn't even get burned, did he?
He swallowed it in the end, remember? And then
That's
it
it.
blew him up from the insides.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
And then she got the sushi nunchucks out
Sushi
for the final
nunchucks.
battle. Come
and
on,
he has
man.
super sound power.
This was fun. Right, be honest. Isn't this... Don't you think this is better than you thought it was going to be?
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was really prepared to give this film like a 5 or a 6, and I thought that 5 or 6 was going to be max.
Me too. Me too.
The only thing is, it could have. I really do feel a little bit let down by the creepy scenes in this film and the weirdness of that.
There is a lot,
because it's completely unnecessary.
It's a cultural thing, but also his background in porn, so some of that's coming out, right?
Yeah,
but also
yeah,
there is a certain perverted and perverse element to a lot of Japanese filmmaking, which I've seen in a lot of even the more serious films. There is a slight perversion which is more welcomed out there in the East than it is in the West. Maybe you call it being prudish or what, but they definitely are a little bit more kinky with what they're willing to show on camera. So even though it may seem as like belittling women, I'm not entirely sure. I just think it's a cultural thing. I wasn't comfortable with a lot of it. I mean, I absolutely wasn't comfortable with him. Like, let me grab her tits while she's dying. Like that.
This is the thing though about this film. When it first started, I was like, man, this is quite feminist. It feels like they're trying to ridicule all the men and show how stupid and perverse they are, and the women are the strong ones. And then it kind of just loses that message as it goes along. But it is ridiculising.
It still kind of keeps it to a weird reason. There's a very thin thread that runs through the film, but it gets lost very. I don't think
it ever really sexualizes the women. It just has weird sexual moments.
Yeah.
Like the touching of the boobs where he doesn't actually touch them. It's just the thought of it doing it. And then him going like, at the end, you've woken my sexual desires, let me touch your butt. And it's like, that's just dumb.
Oh, man, I know. That was just fucking dumb. See, things like that is like, you didn't need to be that, because your character, so that guy's character, you actually had a motive for why you were trying to... I can't remember what it was. He was working in the company. They got some chemical that led to him getting fired, and he was like, let me get my revenge on you guys. So why did he then have to go and become this perverse villain at the end? Like, you weren't that. You were just trying to get your revenge on these gangsters, right? And then you turned into this little pervert.
Horny fish.
Yeah. Let me touch your butt. It's like, ugh.
But at the same time, it's childish. It's not very sexual. It's just childish.
I know. Yeah.
And it's almost like one time you could overlook it, but it just keeps raising its head throughout the film, and I feel like at the end of it you can't overlook it, and that's the only thing that really holds this film back from maybe being a 9 for me.
Oh shit, showing his cards.
Well, yeah, I know. So he's high on there. I think as the film kept going on, I was like, oh shit, this is so disappointing, because there's no way you're going to be able to stay good, because I've been enjoying it up to this point, and you're going to do something that's going to just send it off the rails. But apart from those creepy moments throughout, that never really happens. It stays very consistent. I do think that it's like 20 minutes too long, which sounds ridiculous for like a 90-minute movie, but I could have done with this being like 70 minutes.
You cut off the bit at the beginning, like you can cut off the father storyline to a bit, and you can make her like get an approval from the other guy. I forgot his name now. Is it because of
he was like the fatherly figure. She like found the fatherly figure, didn't she?
I'm glad he didn't turn out to be a bad guy. I thought it was going to be like a twist. Mr. Sawada.
He was scared of knives, knifeophobia.
Oh, mate, that was one of the funniest moments. Cover them, cover them.
I think that was the bit I was going to write down, when he's covered them. He's like in the washing in the laundry.
Yeah.
He's holding the knife, and the sushi is like on the knife. He's like, sushi, knife, sushi. He's like, can't win because he's got both fears.
It was good. If you wanted to read anything into this, right, it's a little bit gross, but I do feel like they were kind of setting the stage for it. I think they're using sushi as a metaphor for STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, and for women. Several reasons why. Early on with her father at the thing, he says something like, you smell like this sushi smells like you, like a woman, like fish. Yeah.
That is a gross image.
Yeah, that is gross. That's your father saying that to you.
Yeah.
So already that's highly disgusting, but that's suggesting a connection between women and sushi. The fact that she is bullied by kids and egg sushi represents her, because egg sushi is bullied by the other sushi. So it's almost like the other women don't see you as a woman like them. So I was like, okay, sushi represents women. But then it was one particular scene. It's when the two guys are sitting in the room. They're about to eat sushi, and the squid sushi lands on the plate, and it touches the salmon sushi, I think.
Yeah.
And as it touches the salmon sushi, it sort of pulses greenish blue. And there was something about the way it was shot and looked. I thought, visually, this looks like an infection, like an STD. And the men kept referring to tasting fish. They were like, let's taste fish, and closing their eyes
they
and
said
then
to one
eating
part
it.
of a woman, "Oh, you're a woman. You're going to make that even more fishy."
Yeah, all of that stuff. It was like, there's a little connection here. So I feel like the dead sushi is an STD.
That's interesting. Well, they did something they never came back to. In the opening scenes, she accidentally cuts her finger and drops blood onto the sushi, and it also glows like it does when it's turning into a dead
You're
sushi.
right. And I thought that was going to be the start of like the zombie sushi, but it wasn't, was it?
Yeah, it was almost like, if you read the plot of the film, she's the one who makes all the sushi turn dead. Like every time she makes sushi, she is the one who makes it bad. Like she's almost cursed. But it's not. The sushi's been infected by the tuna guy.
That's right. It is, yeah.
And even if you read the plot of the film, it says a sushi chef who eats all of the sushi is cursed.
Yeah.
But I got it as the tuna guy was making everything.
Well, he was, but wasn't he? Because that first, the main sushi chef, the kanji guy, my top guy, who I didn't even realise, that sushi that he was serving at first was so dry. It looked so fucking nasty. It was like, this is basic, mate. So I was glad when she called it out and she was like, you got no respect for sushi. This is how I knew I was enjoying the film. Because up to this point, we'd barely had any zombie sushi action. And I was already having such a fun time with it. We hadn't even really seen much zombie sushi stuff. It's not even zombie sushi, is it? It's just evolved sushi.
Yeah. Just brought back to life in some way.
I kind of saw it as a way of like, if you eat fish, you're bad. It was almost like an anti-fishing film. Like, stop eating fish.
Like a vegan film.
Yeah, because the only guy who wasn't getting attacked was the guy who was eating all the ramen. Because he couldn't eat fish.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
Because he was just like strolling around having a great time.
That's true.
But then he had ramen cheeks, mate.
Yeah, no. Then he touched the one bit of fish.
That's because the salmon roe ended up in his ramen,
and then his face blew up.
Wait, come on, how is this not great?
The ramen cheeks was great. It looked it was horrible, man. It was like so.
And
gross.
then they started spurting out of it.
It looked like a massive.
That was probably
spot.
one of the best effects.
It was a very good
falling
effect.
out. Yeah.
Highly good effect, yeah.
Yeah, so I originally saw it as like stop eating fish, the fish will fight back. Because it was almost like the tuna was the one fighting back as well. That's why I kind of read it.
I don't know why he turned into a tuna.
I know. But all of the sushi was having such a great time doing what they were doing. They were like laughing at various
It's like
times.
Gremlins, isn't it?
It was like Gremlins. And they were all singing, they were all going, la, 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 la. Like in that deep, it's like, man, this is fantastic.
A couple having sex, a couple of pieces of sushi having sex.
I know. Impressive. Yeah. Now, look, Paul, that stuff was quite intricate because that was practical. When they were doing the close-ups of the sushi movie, and it was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Sure.
For a low-budget movie, I do take your point about overuse of CGI when they didn't necessarily need to. But overall, I think they did pretty well with the balancing out the practical with that nonsense.
I know, I agree. It was mostly the blood that I had a problem with, and I think that's an easy practical effect to do. So that was the only big issue, especially when they're doing the body sushi, and you're just seeing all this blood squirt, and it's like, well, that's just fake blood, and they're not even getting covered with it. It's just squirting.
But they did use some fake blood in that body sushi stuff.
Yeah, they did. Only a little bit though, but most of it was. I mean, when you go to the hot tub scene and you're getting that girl covered completely in blood, it's like that's better to see that than just a little bit of CGI squirting blood.
Yes.
But again, I think they might not have had the clothes to wash it up with. Like, if she's naked, she could just wash it off and they could reshoot that again.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
So here's a question. How much do you think it costs to indulge in body sushi?
A lot. A lot.
How much do you think? So just out of interest, I was like, let me see body sushi, how often this actually happens in Japan and if it's a thing. So it is like they say in the film, it's the reason behind it. It dates back to the 1200s in Japan, body sushi. And it is supposedly the body temperature brings the sushi up to the right temperature for you to eat. You can do it in Amsterdam. and it's £69 per person.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like 500 quid.
Let me tell you
It's
this.
like a regular meal.
How long do you get?
You
the
are
body
definitely
for?
getting an infection if you are eating sushi off someone in Amsterdam.
But there's a whole because I thought there's a thing of like I can't remember where I was, and they said something about eating caviar or something like that. You eat it. You should always eat stuff off your finger because your finger is the only thing you can't taste. Like it doesn't change because you're so used to it. It doesn't change the flavour of food. So if you put it on a fork, for example, you get the metal taste. If you put it on wood, you get wood. So some ways you eat stuff that's delicacy is by putting it on your finger. So I thought if you're eating sushi off the body, it's kind of a way of like you're serving it on the skin so you don't taste it. That's what I always thought it was for.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. I like cold sushi. I don't want to have it warm.
I'm not massive on sushi,
I
to
agree.
be fair. Like
Sushi's lovely, mate.
I do
Yeah,
like it
sushi.
and I enjoy it, but it's just very expensive for the amount of food you get, and you always end up being hungry afterwards.
Yeah, you don't want to go Yo Sushi. You don't get anything for the price of that shit.
I went to Sushi Dog the other day. I don't know if you've had a sushi dog before, and it was very, very nice. I would say that now.
What, dog sushi?
So it's like a massive sushi
Chopped up
roll.
dog.
Poor mocker.
It's like a hot dog sushi, is what they call it.
I had sushi. We had sushi on our last night in Cornwall, of all places, at this sushi place, and that was fucking nice.
Yeah, I do like
Nice.
it. It's just like not my go-to lunch option because you just don't get enough.
Whenever I go into the office, I go in the office once a week, and I tend to have sushi that once a week.
You
Nice.
get it from Co-op.
I get it every so often, yeah, too.
I ain't eating no co-op sushi. Come on now, Itsu.
Itsu.
Yeah, I do
Was-
the what do you call it? Too good to go bags and stuff.
Wasabi, ginger, soy. Got to be the holy trinity there.
Yeah, nice. Very nice. I'm not into the wasabi.
Oh, mate, the
Goes up
wasabi,
my
that
nose.
heat. Oh,
Up
yeah.
my nose, mate. Not into it.
Nice burn. Come on.
Also, I'm not massive on soy sauce. Like I don't mind soy sauce, but like
Oh, mate, Kikkoman
It's not
soy
my-
sauce. Some of the best soy sauce I've ever tasted. You got to have the soy.
Yeah, I love the soy.
yeah, I don't. It's just like not my one of my go-to.
Adam loves that bland dinner. You got to wonder how that tasted. That Adam cooking birthday dinner for Chelsea the other day. That tasted
it was fantastic.
unseasoned kingdom. I bet. Did you even put salt on your chips?
I was loads of salt and it was chili salt.
Unseasoned kingdom, mate. That's what your life is. Anyway, there were many other funny scenes that when the sushi chef was trying to attack the sushi that was attacking him, and he ended up chopping his nose and lips off
Yes, and it
onto
lands on the
sushi.
plate.
Yes, and she falls onto it and eats it. Come on.
I thought the wife was a pretty funny character.
She was.
The wife who owned the whatever it is, the bed and breakfast.
Yeah, that in. And she could do the robot, man. Proper.
Yes, that was so random.
She was pretty good at it, no?
Yeah, she was solid.
Yeah.
Very
she
good.
looked robotic. Very clever.
It's good.
And her husband, she had that emotional moment with her husband at the end, where he's like, how can I kill you? And then he's like, well, I've got to. I can't live without you. And then he runs out to her.
Yeah, just lets her bite him.
Yeah, she does a very terrible fake bite because she's like biting his
Yeah,
jacket.
you don't
It's
see
like,
anything.
Come on.
Yeah.
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 You haven't even attempted to go for his neck. You've gone for the
blood,
clothes.
put the
now.
blood in the mouth at least.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't a vampire or a zombie film. It's just meant to travel through food, so just spit some egg in his mouth. Out of all the gross things in this, the spitting and swapping of the egg is the grossest, by far.
Yeah, it's a very physical and it's a real. You know, it's real. It's like sticky and horrible and runny and.
Oh, do you know what it made me think of? Trigger warning for anyone who doesn't like to think about blood and such. But when I was at school, everyone used to always talk about rainbow kissing.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yes.
It made me think of that. I was like,
It was
oh,
all of those disgusting stuff that people used to like. Someone would learn about it and then everyone would talk about it.
yeah.
You don't know what it is. Just search it up on your work computer.
Yes. Yeah. But I think the joy of it was that it didn't feel forced. Like, as much as I enjoy Velocipasta, and I do, I love Velocipasta. When you make Velocipasta, you're like, we are intentionally setting out to make a bad movie, so people go, oh, this is ridiculous. Whereas this thing is like, we're entering a ridiculous world. We're not trying to make everything
Yes.
ridiculous. We are in a ridiculous world, and we're just going to live in it. And you're going to live in it with us for 90 minutes. And it's quite lovely. So that films like this exist, I think.
Yeah, Just literally be lost in this ultra heightened emotional world where everyone's personalities are cranked up to 11.
Cranked up to 11, and it's kind of like that's the extremity of Japanese cinema. You can have things like some of the Takeshi Kitano films, which are so still and so quiet and thoughtful and methodical that it's almost like, oh, there's no emotion shown here at all. The flip side of that is something like Dead Sushi, where everything is so batshit crazy. And I've seen some really fucking weird Japanese films this year. That one that I mentioned there, Funky Forest, and has a sequel called Warped Forest. The films are so insane, crazy. It's like I can't even comprehend what's going on in the directors' minds when they make these films, and it's so the opposite of what you would associate with some of the more traditional conservative Japanese cinema. But that's the breadth of it all. There's no one size fits all for these countries.
Definitely, yeah.
I love the idea of Takeshi Kitano sitting down and watching this and just laughing away at it all.
Oh, he'd love this film.
I reckon he would. Motherfucking roast sushi, cooking me alive.
It's hard not to get lost in it, isn't it? Just like go with it and just like, it's just so off the wall that
I know.
you got to just kind of embrace the silliness.
Oh man, but see, yes, and you know the stance on silly, right? We could do an essay on silly in cinema and when it's acceptable and when it's not acceptable for certain things. Like that I don't really like silly stuff, but then this is very silly. So I need to dig into what level of silliness I accept. I don't like it when it's too forced, I think.
I think it also depends on what the film is trying to achieve as well, though.
It's all about the tone of the film, isn't it? If you're watching a more grounded, realistic film and then something silly happens, you're not really going to accept it because you want it to be as realistic as possible.
Yes.
Whereas if you're watching this kind of film and the same kind of thing, if something sexual happens, it's like, no, I'm not getting. That's not the kind of film I'm watching. So why bring that up? You get like sucked into a level that you're enjoying, and if you stray away from that, that's when it gets a bit like, that's not what I'm here for.
Such as when the gardener, well, the ex-sushi chef, who is now the gardener, is trying to open the door and he farts as well.
Yes.
And it's like, I strained too hard. It's like, why are you putting the fart gags in, man?
Yeah, fart jokes never work for me, ever.
No, it's just not good. Come on with that.
No,
maybe we can do a Patreon on good fart gags.
I don't think there is any.
There must be one.
If there was one, it would have to be one that was so subtle. It would have to be something that comes up. Yeah.
Okay, I will give you a good fart joke. It is Fat Bastard in Austin Powers when he's doing the deep emotional speech and he just does a little fart and he starts breathing it in.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's okay.
That's acceptable.
That's all right. That's acceptable because Fat Bastard is a ridiculous character. Another thing about the connecting the sushi and egg sushi to her and women and female empowerment, maybe if you want, is egg sushi. If it's her, egg sushi squirts acid. A woman being able to squirt is maybe in touch with herself and her own body. It's like an sexually empowering thing for a woman.
How you connected squirting acid with a woman squirting.
Well, only because she is egg sushi. Because she's egg sushi. It's kind of like Teeth. You know that film Teeth?
Yeah.
Where she has the vagina dentata. In a way, I kind of feel like maybe they're going for the sexual connection between sushi. It's a bit crass and crude to be like, we're going to use a bit of sushi to represent some women.
Well, considering they do body sushi, sushi's obviously connected to a very sexual kind of sensual thing. So
yes, and there's a great, even in this silly film, there is a great level of respect for sushi, I think.
They love
when
it,
they're talking
mate.
about the pressing the rice. Oh yeah, and I learned something about where you put the soy on the sushi and how you then position the sushi. I always I put the soy on the rice.
Yeah, because you think it soaks it in, don't you?
Yeah,
that's what you
it's
think.
The wrong thing to do. I learned it now. We got a line: "Don't turn a knife on your wife." Works in English. I don't know if it rhymes in Japanese, but when he said that in the end, I was like, "Oh, very good."
I love that bit because it's like the screenshot of memories of the past. He's like just a picture of him holding the knife. It's just like ridiculous, and all the slow motion as well. It's like they're doing slow motion in real life and then slow it down even more
Yeah.
because they obviously can't get a slow motion camera. Ridiculous.
I mean, this was good stuff, man. This is the kind of film that I hope they never go, and now because people liked it, we're going to make a sequel for it, because it's like, it works perfectly as that is now. We don't. If you give us more, we'll just be annoyed. It will just be too much silliness. We've seen it, and now we don't need to see it again.
Yeah, give us another story.
Yeah, they're making a Velocipasta too.
Well, we know that, yeah.
We're featured in it. That's what we asked for.
Yeah, they better
all
include
those years
us.
ago.
I know.
We need to do an episode on that.
And Den of Thieves. They're going to include us in Den of Thieves too as well.
Oh yeah, Den of Thieves. That was early days chatting about that.
It was.
And last thing that we haven't spoke about.
Yeah.
He gets kicked into space and then explodes like a firework. A fish firework.
He does, yeah.
Just in the shape of a fish.
Kicks him in the neck.
Jesus.
Kicks him in the neck. And it's all because Egg Sushi comes back, Eggy, and lets her know.
Eggy, yeah. Do a little
Eggy
sing-song.
sings to her a few times as well.
Sing song.
I ain't a big fan of Egg
song and I'll
Sushi.
sing it like I mean it.
I don't think I've ever had egg sushi.
I had it once. I don't know. I'd rather have my salmon sushi, thanks. What sushi do you have, Paul? Because you have to have cucumber and avocado sushi.
Yeah, it's like a little vegan selection. I think it's got some like red cabbage in it. There's carrots, and it all sounds very boring, but it's nice.
It's the Noboru Iguchi. Shall we have a look at what Noboru Iguchi is working on? What his next film is?
Yeah, go on. He's probably
Noboru
dead.
Iguchi. Yeah, he's a dead man. Oh no, I was about to say. Oh, I've just looked at a picture of him and he looks exactly as you'd expect. His most recent film is... Oh, these are all Japanese titles, of course. God, he's done fuckloads. Let's just pick one at random. Ghost Squad. After a group of girls get murdered, they come back as ghosts and seek revenge. That sounds fairly ordinary, mate. Should have kept up with the weird. The World Yamizuken.
You just know it's going to be proper sexual for no reason.
Oh, he did a section in the ABCs of Death.
Oh yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah.
Don't know what section he did, but there you go. Anyway,
There you go.
well, that was Dead Sushi, and I, for one, fucking loved it.
Well, there you go. So do
8
you
out
wanna-
of 10. 8 out of 10.
You're giving?
Despite the problems. 8 out of 10.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm also with Adam. I give it a 7 as well.
I would really love to give this film a 9, but I can't because of those reasons that really hold it back.
To be honest, if I was being completely honest, I should say 7. But at the end of the day, if it entertained me, I would happily watch this above and beyond a lot of films that I give 7. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
True.
Because you know you're gonna have a good time.
yes.
I don't know how... Yeah, the rewatch, I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's better than most 7s.
Well, there we go. So that gives us a 7.33, and it's going to go to bat with the following films. Domino is better than Domino.
I like Domino better, but Adam hasn't seen it, so it skips over it.
Okay. Possum.
This is better than Possum.
Yeah, Possum's
What do
better.
I give Possum? Did I give
I'll be
Possum an
honest.
8?
Possum's better.
I think Possum's better as well, but I wanted to check my score anyway. I feel like I gave it a 7, but I might have given it an 8.
You gave Possum...
Don't even know what year it was.
What year was that? If that's 2022, time is flying, mate. If that's 2022...
I gave it an 8,
oh my
so
God,
Possum's
it was.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, Possum's
I gave
better.
Possum an 8. Possum's better.
The fact that Possum was 2 years ago is so fucking depressing because that feels like it was not that long ago.
Yeah, I know. Time's flying, isn't it?
Our life is flitting by, mate. So, it's bottom of the 7.3s. Close to the bottom, I mean. It's above Limelight and above Domino, but not above Possum. And right above that is Crippled Avengers. So the two films are not so dissimilar.
There you go. Nice stuff.
And thanks for allowing me to carry on my foreign quota.
Always. We love it. We
Paul
absolutely
is going
love
to
it.
chuck a film that puts me in the hole by 3 now, though.
Yeah.
I
Every
probably
English
am.
film puts me
Yeah.
in the hole by 3.
I'm going to put you in a hole. I'm sorry.
Damn, I worked
I
so
do
hard
think
to
you
get
went
out of
too
that hole.
hard on yourself with 75%.
I haven't, mate. I'm currently as it currently stands. I'm only 3 in the hole as it is. So I need to watch 3 foreign films and I'm on the level.
That's easy
I'm going to do
catch
it.
up with. You'll be fine. Yeah.
I know. The problem is if I do like 2 or 3 English language films in quick succession, and then I'm like, fuck, I'm 10 in the hole pretty much. And then I can't watch an English language film while I'm trying to whittle down with the foreign. I'm going to do it.
It's a hard life, isn't it?
It is hard life. It's so silly. If I tried to explain this stuff to like my parents and all that, they'd be like, "What are you doing with your life, son? Stop wasting your time."
If you try to like tell this to like someone in a third world country, you'd be like, "I'm just trying to watch the foreign films."
Yeah.
It's just hard. Do you want to hear what film we're doing next?
Yeah, tease us.
We're not going to Sean's pick yet. We've got another one from one of us, and it's me. It's 2012, as we know. We're doing a director we've never done before, but he's a big director, big hitter. And one of the reasons I've picked this film is because Alex from The Contrarians gives it a 9. So I'm thinking, well,
Okay.
I'm interested. And none of us have seen it. It's Brian De Palma, and it's a film called Passion, starring Noomi Rapace and Rachel McAdams. I don't know anything about it, but I'm looking forward to it because I'm quite into Brian De Palma.
Just based on those 2 cast members, I can tell you why Alex gives that a 9 out of 10.
Potentially, yes. So we shall see.
I know nothing about it.
The poster looks very sensual.
Yes.
Well, Brian De Palma's a very sensual with his films as well.
He likes the Hitchcock.
Modern Hitchcock.
He likes the Hitchcock, and he's going to get the Hitchcock watching this, I think.
It's another Amazon film as well.
Yes, it's on Amazon, everyone.
We've never done a Brian De Palma film. We've
No,
talked
never.
about him, just not on the main.
Yeah, indeed. There we go.
He's responsible for my 4th favourite film of all time. So
There we are. Beautiful stuff. But that's really Passion.
Actually, he's fucking responsible. Wait a minute, have I gone mad?
Your number 1 film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I not connect Scarface with De Palma so much? Because it doesn't feel like a De Palma film. Fuck me. Yeah, there you go. It's so Scarface is so different to the other ones because there is always this like erotic thread slightly in De Palma's other ones.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Whereas it's really not there in Scarface.
yeah. You haven't watched Dress to Kill, have you?
That's cool. No, I haven't. I got to watch that one as well.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That's where we're going. We're going to Passion. A bit of passion on the podcast. Well, everyone, that's our Dead Sushi episode. Hope you thought that was wonderful.
Yeah.
And we have little else to do than tell you about our wonderful patrons who are at www.patreon.com/filmbusters, and you become wonderful family members with the likes of Luke Bennett.
Yes, you can. You can also join Francis Cibarini.
You can also join Stephen Mark from Movie Drone. Come back, Stephen Mark. We miss you. It's been months.
Yeah, where you been? We also got Brent from Home Video Hustle.
Yes, you have. We also got Luke Human.
We got Sean Panda Nicholson, who you'll be hearing from very, very soon, listeners.
Oh, sooner than you think. We've also got Mr. Nerd Revert.
Yes, you can. We also got Julio from The Contrarians.
And we got Mr. Jamie Russell joining us shortly. Well, he's not joining us shortly. He'll be joining us at some point.
He will be. He'll be coming back soon, making the comeback king. And then last season's heroes, Katie and Oti from the For Your Reference podcast.
Very good.
There we go. That's everyone. We love you
Good.
all, and we love everyone who's listening right now.
Thanks.
The ones who aren't listening right now, we don't love.
Yeah, we don't love them ones, but you wouldn't know because you have to be listening to this to be loved. So
Yeah, so you're always going to
Exactly.
be listening and loved.
yeah,
Unless
exactly.
you finish it, and then as soon as you finish it, we don't love you anymore.
I hope these people actually watched Dead Sushi because they missed out big time if they didn't.
Yeah,
if they just
you
heard
should
us talk
definitely go.
about it, they missed out on a treat.
Exactly.
It's easy
You
to
should
get
go
hold
watch
of.
it.
Yeah. You've heard us tell you all the hits. Now go and experience them for yourselves. Go and watch it. Deado Sushi.
Dead Sushi.
Next time I'm eating sushi, I'm going to be thinking about this film. That's the truth.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yes, I probably will never eat it again because I'm worried I'm going to die.
Will you lift the flap up? Will you lift the salmon flap up and see if it's got the little teeth underneath?
Well, yeah, and if it doesn't, I'm going to put it back down and find one that does.
Well, exactly. We'll be seeking out the evil sushi.
Anyway, farewell, people.
I'll also
Farewell.
be kinder to the egg sushi because I want to be friendly to it because now I know it's got no friends.
Start licking it up.
Well, steady on that front.
Deal Busters.